Salute amici! I decided I wanted to try something a bit new today, and I'm going to react to one specific video and hopefully give a more thoughtful commentary on it. Alright, so let's get to it. The video in question that I'm going to react to is a random Dior clip, specifically the truth about male VTubers. Alright, let's watch it.
Male VTubers.
Disgusting!
Nah, I'm just kidding. A little while back, 3 years or so, I made a video talking about whether I thought that the male VTuber debuff existed. Now, I've gained a lot of experiences of male VTubers since then, so it felt right to do a follow-up video on whether or not I've changed my mind. In that first video,
Fair enough.
I said that I thought that there was no male VTuber debuff at the beginner and mid levels of streaming, and possibly only a debuff at the very highest levels. I had that opinion because I noticed that there were many examples of femme VTubers.
Actually, let me change the image here. And sorry, I simply, okay.
That I thought were outstanding, that underperformed. And although I didn't really state it out loud at the time, other examples of male VTubers that I thought had a following way bigger than what their entertainment value merited. Basically, I saw underrated female VTubers and overrated male VTubers, and to me that meant that there was probably no male VTuber debuff. That was
It should be also mentioned that the whole VTuber scene back at that time, I was not around at that time, but from what I heard, it was incredibly different. Not just because of the addition of meat, obviously, or even because of the inclusion of Luxian around the scene, but just the demographics in general were pretty much entirely different from what they are now. Truthfully, it's kind of amazing that in such a relatively short time, things in Vtubing change so quickly. It really is kind of amazing, not gonna lie.
2021 me, he's dead now. What do I think in 2024? I think that there is a debuff, but it's mostly a passive one, not some kind of evil conspiracy out to screw us over. Imagine.
Yeah, it's generally nothing that happens consciously in any of this content creation stuff. It's just a natural result of viewers following the trends that they like and the trends that are passed on them by the content platforms.
That you have the ability to view perfect information about the current VTuber audience. Completely accurate stats about every single person in the world right now that watches VTuber content at least once a week. I'd be willing to bet a hundo that the total audience tend to skew heavily towards male, maybe about 70% even. That audience was introduced to VTubing through various femme VTubers. Keys and I, etc., etc. This is the first thing that I've learned over the last 3 years.
For many of the people that came around Vtubing, and that is probably also a result of a lot of the anime subcultures being, how can I say this? At least in the West, a lot of them were kind of not super mega friendly towards a female audience or towards female interest. For example, the kind of animes that got like really popular, at least the ones that I know that got really popular, they were never kind of like any type of shoujo anime or anything. How do they call it? Yoseimuke or media for girls. It was always, for example, shonen style fighting anime or anime that was about cool stuff, mecha fighting, etc. I think that there was this anime actually, Gundam Wing or something, and that one was a bit of a surprise hit. I think I don't really know much about that. Because that one was actually somewhat popular with the female public.
Content consumers are very picky. A person hops on YouTube to watch your videos or your streams on topic A. It is almost impossible to get them to watch your video that you made about topic B. They only want A from you. Even if they like topic B, they've already got a guy for topic B. You're their topic A YouTuber, and you're going to stay that way. The current
viewers
VTuber
tend to be very set in their ways.
Heavily favors watching femme VTubers. That's why they got.
And it's not only that, but it's also the simple result of the fact that many of them are, well, like Randon said earlier, they are male and they want to watch female VTubers because of the parasocial, emotional aspect of it. And frankly, I do not think that there is anything wrong with that. People like what they like, and they want to use the limited free time that they have in order to enjoy the things that they like. Maybe sometimes some of the reasons for why they want to watch only female VTubers and don't want to watch male VTubers, maybe they are kind of messed up in some ways, but that is what they like. And so I don't think that there is much of a point in criticizing them for it.
Got into the niche, and it's borderline impossible to get them to switch. But it's not because they hate dudes or something. This is just a general quirk about viewers, content.
Well, I wouldn't say hate, but they certainly don't like to watch guys. A lot of the established audience, because they had that, because they watch VTubers in that specific framing of, oh wow, I want to watch a cute person being cute, etc. They want to get that fulfillment from a female VTuber. And of course, there are obviously many male watchers that enjoy watching male VTubers, but the dynamics are completely different. A brotuber, as they say.
Consumers. There's probably even a sizable chunk of VTuber fans that enjoy watching male streamers, but they prefer facecam streamers and not VTubers for that. And there's nothing wrong with that. People
a lot of what I see when I hear male fans, sorry, having these kind of talks between each other, I hear them saying that they just get really, really put off by the cutesy pretty boy avatar that a lot of male VTubers have. I am not going to sugarcoat this. Sometimes they call it gay. Sometimes they call it like, well, sometimes they use more impolite words, but essentially they feel it is something, I don't know, effeminate that appeals to women that they don't want to watch. Essentially, imagine that, something that appeals to women. Ew. At least that is the at least that impression I get from the kind of people that start complaining a lot about male VTubers. It is, of course, obviously important to keep in mind that on the internet, the kind of people who get really loud about stupid stuff tend to be really stupid people and tend to be like a market minority. But there is certainly a non-zero number of people who do find themselves repelled by the cutesy pretty boy avatars, and that's just kind of the way that a lot of guys have been culturally raised. It's just a bit difficult to do much about that.
shouldn't be judged about having preferences. Let people like what they like in peace. So where does
Yeah.
that leave us poor homeless VTubers in 2024? Real talk. If you come into VTubing with the intention of building a viewer base of people who already know and like VTubers, you're gonna have a bad time. I mean, think about it. That means your target audience is someone who already has a favorite VTuber. It's gonna take so much time and energy to convert them over to your camp, even if
Well, I must admit, at least from what little I had seen, and with one single look at my subscriber count, and you will note that I am not exactly a very successful VTuber. Um, Trying to convert a non-VTuber fan into a VTuber fan, unless you already had some kind of mass appeal or you already have a lot of numbers for your backing, is also kind of a tall order. Um, because the anime avatar does seem to place a barrier for a significant amount of people. I I'm not really sure why, but that is coming from the perspective of someone who never really um, dismissed anything that he saw online because it was like nerdy, because it was something from other interests or whatever. I had always been a very open-minded person, so I just can't really get into the kind of shallow mindset that would lead someone to and go, oh, this is anime, I don't like it, or oh, this is X, I don't like it, I won't watch it. But a lot of people, and I think especially a lot of people online, where you can really filter everything out that you don't like. A lot of people really are like that. A lot of people simply will not watch something if they don't like it.
If you manage to do it, it won't feel good. At least it wouldn't feel good to me. The better mindset is to find someone out there who either has no idea what a VTuber is, or even someone who knows but dislikes VTubers, and make
Good
that
luck with that.
person into your fan because you're just that entertaining. That way, that fan will be
I am sorry, Mr. Randon. I don't know if I am that entertaining. I am kind of boring, to be honest.
way more loyal than someone
Way
who's
more
already
loyal.
out there in the VTuber space just shopping around, right? It makes sense.
Maybe.
Here's another piece of advice. Think of something that you're obsessed about, preferably one that doesn't already have a VTuber associated with it, and make
Well,
funny.
finding your niche is one of the few paths to development, I suppose, in the career, in the VTubing scene. VTubing nowadays is so oversaturated that it can be really difficult to stand out. Not gonna lie.
Entertaining videos and streams about that topic. It could be a very replayable video game with a small but dedicated audience. Some kind of hobby like woodworking, or a subgenre of hentai that people are super into for some reason, like moth girls or orcs. The number one mistake that I've seen new VTubers make is copying the people.
I don't know what
In
to
the
say
big
to
leagues.
that.
They did not get to their size by doing the thing that they're doing right now. Think of your favorite VTuber and do a little digging. I bet you they did something very specific, like getting to Grandmaster in Overwatch or ASMR or something else.
Yeah, it's when you get into that, like that big break, where you suddenly really shoot up, which I think happened with a lot of VTubers. For example, happened with Mr. Shoto, or happened with Miss Shaleli, that there was this specific year, I think 2023 or 2022, I don't know, when she really shot up in the subscriber counts. And once you get that big break, it really does seem like your career pretty much takes off by then.
Else like that to get to where
But
they are now.
it is very difficult to get that lift off.
You look at them doing variety streaming right now, but variety streaming is a trap for growing streamers. Hell, even Jerma started out making Team Fortress 2 videos. Ludwig was a Smash Brothers Andy, you know, stuff like that, and so on.
They
I
had their
believe that you are an
specialty.
interesting person, and that other people out there will find you interesting as well.
You're so polite. Thank you.
Just play to your strengths and think about what you genuinely enjoy and obsess about. And I guarantee you that there are at least a couple million people out there that would love to hear you yap about it. Oh,
I don't
one
know.
last thing. I said that the male VTuber debuff was mostly a passive one. Mostly. I'm going to be honest with you. There is a tiny but intense group of people out there that seem to really hate male VTubers. They probably hate on male VTubers more than they actually watch their favorite, which is kind of crazy to me. When
I think a lot of what might have influenced Mr. Randon's perspective in this aspect is from the agency that he used to be part of, or where he used to be before being Randon. Why is it, for example, that some agencies had a much greater female audience than others? A big part of it is that, let's just use letters. Agency V really did a lot to not alienate specific types of audience, or the kinds of audience that will enjoy male VTubers, by having them integrated from the start within their main branches, as well as that they never really sidelined them. So the kind of female audience that enjoy watching male VTubers knew that if they wanted to go to watch male VTubers, they could do it in other agencies that were not Agency A. And Agency A was much more well known for the female VTubers and for the kind of unicorn-like audience that they had. I will not be surprised, actually, if a lot of people didn't even know that Agency A had a male section, had a male branch. A lot of people really don't know. It seems like they really don't know. And the kind of people that will really get angry about a male VTuber, and I don't think it will be just because of them getting jealous that they are collabing with the Roger or anything like that. just by the logical result of what kind of agency and what kind of environment agency have fostered, they simply are more likely to be within the fan base of agency A. Oops.
I got into this space, I didn't even know that they existed. I was just a fan, you know, from the OGs of the pre-streaming era to the big corpos of today. Running into them
Wow,
gave
Mr.
me
Randon has
quite a
been
shock,
around a
'cause
lot,
I
hasn't
don't really
he?
hang out in the community spaces of my hobbies. I just kind of enjoy it in a vacuum. Anyway,
Hmm.
if you're a male VTuber and things are going pretty well, you will
I
probably
wish.
run into these people eventually. I do not
Oh
think that these people
no.
represent VTuber fans. I would advise that you ignore them and you keep
Are,
doing your best to entertain your true fans.
are they gonna
Going
be
pretty
mean? Oh
well,
no.
you will probably run into these people eventually. I do not think that these people represent VTuber fans. I would advise that you ignore them and you keep doing your best to entertain your true fans, the ones that find you
Yeah.
interesting. I do not think that
You
these
people are
haters
my true
represent
fans.
a
Yeah.
real male VTuber debuff. They're just a potential stumbling block if you give them too much attention and create unnecessary
Yeah.
drama for your
Well,
community to worry about. So
you
make your
should never
space
pay
a fun and
attention
exciting place and kick out the bad
to
eggs.
foolish
Don't even
people
feel
on
bad
the
about it.
internet.
See it as protecting your community. All right, that's
Okay.
my retrospective on male VTubers. Peace.
Disgusting. Peace. Okay. Well, wonderful. So that is our Mr. Rando's opinion on male VTubers. And honestly, I think a lot of what sometimes can holds male VTubers back is two factors, but they are both essentially dealing with the kind of audience that formed itself from the start around VTubing. Um, it is simply a combination of the factors that the majority, as Mr. Randon mentioned, the majority of VTuber viewers are male, and that the kind of fans of male VTubers, tend to do so for rather emotional or parasocial reasons. Those things are not obviously something that's necessarily wrong or anything like that, but they do result in that by definition, the majority of the quote unquote traditional fans of VTubing are just not going to be all that interested in in male VTubers. And obviously, with other agencies that decided to appeal to a different kind of public, and through the natural expansion of the fan base, more and more there has been a kind of fan base that is more like the kind of natural fan base of male VTubers, if that makes sense. That is to say, people that are attracted to men essentially. But then that also goes into the matter of, can the male VTubers that are around, or a potential male VTuber, provide the kind of experience and the kind of character that will be attractive to that public? And that is a much more nuanced and multi-layered question that I'm not sure if I will be able to truly answer in a significant manner. Obviously, the female VTubers, the VTubers on the other side, many of them know how to play a character and know how to play into the things that their audience wants from them. But that is a formula that male VTubers are not necessarily quite as quite as deft at least not yet. Hopefully, and with time, the formula is something that becomes more clear and more accessible for more and more people um of male VTubing. But yeah, that is my reaction to the problem with male VTubers. See ya.